Get out the way. Who got a watch? Who got the time? I'm raising the clock. Even in my feelings, grind don't stop. Got big dreams, want big rocks. I got plans, you got talk. Heard it's real cheap, but it's really gon' cost. I'm tryna get these ends, building empires with my friends. I'm about handling my business. No time for stress over bullshit. You think success is an option? I'm tryna get this shit poppin' like woo. Big moves, my rules. Y'all heavy on the tweeting. I'll disappear a whole season like woo. Who said they looking for me? I'ma make.
Hey DeMarie TV family, it's wonderful to be back. I have missed you guys, but I took a little break from YouTube. My husband has been having some medical issues that I have been helping him with, and so I've just really been focused on my health, my husband, his health, my family. Life has been lifing, so it was a nice break, but now Love and Marriage Huntsville is back, and so we back at it. I knew that they were going to attacking the millimeters this season, so I was aware that that was going to come. I was also aware that they don't know who we are, and if they think that that was going to shut us up, they're crazy. It's just going to make people go in even harder, so good luck with that. I was listening to True T and a couple of the other content creators. Y'all know that I listen to De Silva. And I'm pondering about the blackout. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say I'm not. I've been away for a little bit, so I'm not, pissed off. But wait, when I get pissed off, I'll make a decision. I ain't mad enough yet, but just, give me some time. I'm in a way, but I got to figure out what the hell's going on. And then if they piss me off, I'll black it the hell out. But for right now, I'm going to watch it because I've been away and I've been so removed from it. And it's been good. When you're in this and you're going back and forth with them, it's work. This is work. And so it was nice having a break from it, but I'll keep y'all posted on the direction I intend to move. What I will say wholeheartedly is I'm bored with Love and Marriage Huntsville. I do not think it's a good show. I support Melody. I am there watching and turning on my television and doing these videos in support of Melody. And once Melody decides to leave, I'm done with Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm done with anything Carlos King. I no longer watch his interviews. I no longer support anything this man does. I think that Carlos King has revealed who he is. When people show you who they are, believe them, and I believe them. It is starting to come out that this man not only tried to co-opt Melody and her idea by putting his spin on it and saying he created the show, which he did not. He stole that show, the concept from her, and did not give her the credit. He is not the person who developed and created the show. That's a lie. This is Melody's idea. This whole show was her idea. Carlos King is the person who helped bring it to television, but this concept and this idea is Melody's. Now they have someone right now saying that Carlos King is responsible for trying to take Messy Mondays. I don't doubt that at all. In my opinion, I think this man has always made a living off of the backs of women. He studies women. He tried to co-opt Candy Burris's. According to Candy, he tried to steal their life story. Women, he takes their ideas, he takes their visions, and he uses it and he steals it and he promotes it as if it's his. He interviews women on his podcast. He gets all the money for it and they get nothing. It's crazy. He's the man. He's benefiting from a bunch of women. Only thing I can say is at some point, I hope that Melody is able to fulfill all of her contractual obligations and walk away from this show without having to deal with any non-compete clauses or anything like that. And she's able to start her own show and just kind of separate from all this toxicity. I think her having her own show away from all the drama would be best for everybody. But anyway, let's get into Season 8, Episode 1. And the reason that my thumbnail is now titled Melody Rodgers, Love and Marriage Huntsville, because this entire show is about Mel. Every conversation had on this episode is about Mel. People are on this show basically as supporting cast or the others, getting paid to get dressed up and talk about Mel. to go over each other's house and talk about Mel, to go to each other's jobs and talk about Mel. The entire show is people talking about Mel. So if all they gonna do is talk about Mel, it's Melody's Love and Marriage Huntsville. There you go. Let's get into it. So let's get into season 8, episode 1, the Arrested Redevelopment. So in a nutshell, this episode is about Martel being arrested for revenge P. Okay? It's about revenge P on the show. Nobody addresses it in any way other than Martel got in trouble for sending a text. That is crazy to me, that women who say they're educated, women who say that they support women, women who have children, women who are mothers of girls. Tisha has daughters that will one day have to function in a world where this is a real issue. And she herself, as a mother of daughters, has decided that she is going to minimize this offense to a text. It blows my mind. But essentially, this show and this episode is nothing different than what it has been for 8 seasons. It is a bunch of people who have been hired to talk about Melody Rodgers. Every conversation will go back to Melody Rodgers. Okay? Every one of them. When you are watching this show, or if you're blacking out, don't worry. You're not missing anything. They've changed nothing. It is still everybody having conversations about Mel. Destiny's new storyline is Sonny and Moses and Melody. Martel and his mother are talking about Melody. Destiny gets dressed up, goes to Tisha's house to talk about Mel and Sonny and Moses. Martel and his mother, who looks like she is afraid that if she says one thing wrong, he gonna backhand her. All she says is, "You a good daddy." Everybody make mistakes. Listen, the whole entire show is about Mel. I don't know why this show is still called Love and Marriage Huntsville. This show should be called Melody, Cherie, and the Others. That's Melody, Cherie Rodgers, and the Others. That's what it should be called. Period. There's one star on this show, and everybody on this show is getting paid to merely discuss this one woman. And they hate her for that. They absolutely cannot stand her because of that. None of them. And De Silva, I was wrong and you were right. I don't know how the hell you do this. When Nell first came on this show, oh my goodness, I was so excited for Mel to have somebody come on the show for her. I loved Nell's look. I loved how Nell was acting and how she was, I loved it. I just loved it because I thought finally Mel has someone on this show for her. Here come De Silva. Nell is not Mel's friend. I was like, what? De Silva, you just know you tripping. Like, I know Mel been through some stuff, but she for real. This is really her friend. She mentored them. She knows what she's been through. This is Mel's friend. De Silva says she is not her friend. Nell, I see right through Nell. Nell is not her friend. And here we go. Here we go yet again. So anyway, let me back up and get through these I'm not even going to go step by step because it's not worth it. It's not something you haven't seen before. It's scenes of people talking about Mel. That's the whole show. So it starts out Mel's at her home with private security. These are armed security guards who have to cover the front and back of this woman's home because she is an abused woman who is being tortured by her ex-husband, and Carlos King, Kingdom Reign, own all of them, are enabling this abuse, or either they're enabling the abuse by keeping this man on this show. He has not been fired. He has not been terminated. They've watched him physically try to attack her. They've watched him emotionally attack her. They've watched him drag her name through the mud. They've watched this man do all kinds of things, try to set him. They know that this arrest is because Martel sent a photo of Melody in a private act. It's a video they taped in their marriage of them in a marital act, and he was going to use his side gutter snipe to release the video and pretend it was Mel having an affair with another person. That is why he kept saying Mel had an affair. I got the video. That's why Destiny kept saying, I know where your bodies are buried. Or Tisha kept saying Mel cheated on Martel too. They, in my opinion, I believe they saw that video. I believe they all seen it and they all knew about it. I believe that wholeheartedly. And so Mel did what every woman on the face of the earth should do if somebody threatens you with revenge P. You go down and file charges against them because it is against the law. And Mel did not put Martel in jail. Martel put himself in jail when he broke the law. Just like when he broke the law sitting outside with them walkie-talkies trying to rob ATMs, that was a decision he made to break the law. He also made the decision to break the law when he threatened her with revenge P. Mel did not conspire to do anything to Martel. Martel is doing these things to himself. Mel Bender left this man alone. She wants nothing more than never having to deal with this man a day in her life. She can't stand him. She don't want to look at him. She don't want to be around him. She's making every effort to separate herself from this man. She ain't thinking about him. She don't want him. He's not desirable to any real woman. There's no real woman on the face of the earth who would desire Martel Holt. Nobody should want that kind of drama in their life. Nobody. Real women do not want to be with Martel Holt. Period. He's not a man. He's not. He's not a good father. He's not a good husband. He's not a protector. He's not a hard worker. He's none of that. So be with him for what? He's not even a good lay, according to his ex-wife. So what are you being there for? What are you there for? You not coming? It's nothing he can do for you. So why do you want to be with him? Period. Just like, and Marcus, I absolutely loved seeing this scene with him and Mel. Marcus had came to Mel's house. So once she finished talking to the security guards outside the house, she goes in and she's talking to Marcus about what happened with Martel. And I'm glad that she at least got this scene in because it explains what he did. It explains why he was arrested. It was revenge P. In Arizona, in Alabama, revenge P is couched under domestic violence, harassing communications. That's how the law was written by their legislature. Has nothing to do with Melody. The charges, the way that they're couched, what they're named, how the classifications of the crime, none of that has anything to do with Melody. She lives in Alabama. She has to abide by Alabama law, and crimes are prosecuted according to the laws on the books the way they are written. Does it make sense to me? No. If it's revenge P, they should call it revenge P. It should be spelled out in the law as revenge P. In my opinion, domestic violence, harassing communications does not do justification to that crime. But this is Alabama. Go figure. You know what I'm saying? It's Alabama. What do you want? It's Alabama. So that is exactly what this is about. She had no control over when they chose to serve the warrant or when they chose to enforce it. And she also had no control over whether he decided to turn himself in at a particular time with the kids there in his presence and having the mother pick them up. The kids had no way of contacting her. They did not contact her. His mother did not contact her. Nobody said a word. She didn't know who her kids were with, where her kids were, but she's supposed to give him first right of refusal when she go out of town. The fuck? This is crazy. But I'm happy her brother was there as a show of support, and I'm happy that she has the means, thank you, millimeters, to protect her home. See, this is how this goes. Y'all do fuck shit. We buy products, shirts. My millimeter versus everybody hoodies on the way right now, because clearly I'm gonna need it this season, because that's about what it is. So when y'all act up, we buy stuff, she gets paid, she can handle whatever business it is that she needs to handle. That's what we got going on. Okay, that's it. That's how this works. So yeah, she gonna be able to afford private security. She gonna be able to have armed guards in the front and the back of her house. And you show up at that house unannounced, you gonna find out. You gonna F around and find out. That is not a woman who is attempting, as Martel's mom Marlene says, but she always messing with Martel. Ain't nobody thinking about Martel, ma'am. Nobody wants to even look at your son. We are wanting your son to be off this show, for Melody to get full custody of her kids, and for him to not even have visitation. We want nothing more than Martel to be X'd out of this whole situation. But unfortunately, we can't do that. We're going to have to sit back and wait for him to keep messing up his own blessings. And then eventually the courts will make that decision for him. What we got to do is be patient. Because one thing I know for sure, Martel is not going to stop. So the next scene is, I don't even know if I'm in the right order. Because listen, it was so little going on this episode that it was very easy to follow. The next scene is Stormy pulling up to Nell's daycare to come in dressed to the hills, to come in and sit down in Nell's office and ask her what she knows about what's going on with folk. Okay? She's just there to carry the bone, honey. That's all. She just there to gossip, run her mouth, talk about other people. She ain't talking about none of them lawsuits. She ain't talking about her business. She ain't talking about her relationship. She ain't talking about nothing that got to do with Stormy. She's there to ask in about other people. And one of those people, of course, is how you feel about Martel. Now, what came out of Nell's mouth, I don't understand women like this. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I never will. I will never understand women like that. That's just, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. But it does tell me DeSilva was right. This is not a friend. This is not a friend. Number one, a friend will be, why you coming in my office asking me about Mel? You ain't called Mel. You can't talk to her. Ask her when you see her. Why the hell is this woman driving all over town to ask about Martel? Go ask Martel what Martel did. Go ask Martel what he did. Go ask him. Black women are not getting black men arrested. Black men breaking laws is getting black men arrested. If you are a black man who decides to send your ex-wife's body and a private image of her body in an act that is a marital act through the internet, through a phone, and threaten her that you're going to put it out, that is against the law. It's called Revenge P. It's against federal laws. It's against state laws. Melody did not force that man to do that. He did it on his own. But every woman on this show knows that. They also know that they can't say that they disagree with it because they don't want to piss off their husbands and they don't like Mel. Any opportunity given to pile on this woman and make her life difficult in any way, they're going to take it because they hate her. They're jealous and they're envious of her. Period. They hate her. And for me, I would not want to continuously be surrounded around people like that. But I don't know what it is that is keeping Melody in this situation. I don't know if contractually she's obligated to do so many shows. I don't know if there's a non-compete clause in which she leaves. She cannot start her own show. I don't know what it is, but something is keeping her on this show. And I doubt very seriously that it's money. And if it is money, she better be getting paid 10 times what them other fools is getting paid because they don't do nothing but sit up and talk about her. That's it. Then you have another scene where Destiny goes to Tisha's house. Tisha talking about this black and white house gives her the California vibes. Honey, you ain't never been to California. California ain't about black houses. There is no house in California that's black in the inside. California is good weather, breeze, ocean, palm trees. Ain't nobody sitting up with no black house in California. Where the hell you see that at? That is not, I don't even know what this girl is talking about. She's so damn country and ass backwards. Anyway, she in pajamas and looking crazy like she going to a slumber party, and Destiny in a whole jean dress, dressed to the hills to sit down and talk about Sonny and Moses and to talk about Mel. I don't understand why Destiny is back on this show. Nobody was checking for her. No, but she gets on talking about, did y'all miss me? The answer is no, man. We did not. We do not miss you. We don't want to see you. You were boring then. You boring now. You bring nothing to this show. No, we didn't miss you. We don't want to see you on TV. We don't want to look at you on this show. We did not miss you. No, we did not. And this whole Sonny and Moses storyline is not going to make people miss you. It's not going to make people feel bad about you or rally around you. It's not going to do that. He married. So why you need to talk to Sonny or Moses? they're married. Sonny called you, she told you she was dating him, it was getting serious. That was the time to have the conversation with Moses to tell him how you felt, not after they married. After they married, you don't have shit to say. You keep it pushing, because clearly he didn't want to marry you. Or he could have married you if he wanted to. He did not want you. He wanted her. And he married her. So leave it at that. Keep it moving. I don't want to hear a whole season about Sonny and Moses. And they're going to drag that out. It's ample opportunity for Tisha not to talk about her Marceau, none of these lawsuits, none of these unfinished jobs they got, Zen Gardens. They don't want to talk about that house, them lawsuits about them people blowing out them rocks and they didn't pay them back. They don't want to talk about nothing that got to do with them. They want to get paid to sit on this show and talk about everybody else but them. Everybody but them. Every season, we got to see them building something. They getting their office together. They living in an apartment so they can get the Airbnb together so they can stay in the Airbnb while they get the house together. They always getting it together. They always in the process of having something, but ain't never got shit going on. They open up Black Cigar Lounge for the show for a couple scenes and close it down. You know, it's rumored that they let the business license expire. You know what? Listen, I'm tired of them. Like, I am tired. Mel, please leave this show at the first opportunity for you to walk. The show is just crazy boring. It's boring. I'm gonna tell y'all, like, it's not interesting at all. And for this to be the opening show, it's crazy. So let's get into Carlos King and the podcast episode. Now, we all know how this turned out. We all know how this podcast turned out. He basically used all the millimeters to come in, make a quick dime, and then he turned around and struck all the content creators, many of which were in the room, their channels, and claimed on publicly that it was because we were releasing information about his podcast. But that's not what happened. We weren't releasing information about his podcast at all. I didn't have anything on my channel regarding Carlos King and his podcast. My episodes that I got demonetized, my videos that I got demonetized were about Marceau and Tisha. It's when Tisha got that drink threw in her face, which is one of the most epic scenes in the last 2 seasons. And it was also when Nell and Mel were at Nell's daycare discussing Tisha's business structure and how they set up their businesses under Tisha's name so that Tisha can benefit from grants and business opportunities for women, knowing that Marcel was primarily doing all the work. So they were talking about how most of the business was in Tisha's name and Marceau's doing it, and Tisha didn't have any input on the decisions. That's why he's on all the lawsuits. That's why Tisha's not in a lot of the lawsuits that we hear people talk about. It's just Marceau, because he's the one there doing everything. If it was Tisha, she would be there, but she's not. Hell, she didn't even have an office in the building. So Carlos King is talking to Mel. He's acting as if he's upset with Martel because Martel said that they act on the reality show, and he's like, we don't act, and that's disrespectful to me and my producers. Whatever. You can't tell me that these scenes where they're going, getting dressed up and sitting in front of each other talking are not made up scenes. There's no context to the scenes. There's nothing rich about those scenes. They're just going to talk to each other about Mel. There's nothing rich about them scenes. It's lame and it's made up mess. Only thing that person who's really discussing their real life on Love and Marriage Huntsville is Melody Rodgers. She's the one discussing her real life. She's the one having her real life displayed all over that show. Her and Martel. None of them are taking any heat for anything they do in their life. None of the lawsuits have been displayed. None of the arrests. Nothing that happens with them is on there. None of the lawsuits. None of the business fails. None of the business wins, for that matter. None of that's on there. Y'all never talk about Melody's positive. Y'all never talk about this woman's business. 7th Avenue is not even a factor on this show, and it is a hellified successful company. It's greatly successful. Y'all don't talk about, her selling her shirts and her clothing and the investment. Y'all want to talk about millimeters like they're crazy people. Y'all can say that all day long. Ain't nothing crazy about educated people who are backing a woman because they see her being wronged on national television, and they're using their financial means to help support her so that her and her children don't fail because we watched her be abused on national television. It's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is how you all want to spin it and your hatred of the fact that she got support irregardless of any of you. That's what's wrong. So he's on the podcast. He didn't show parts of the podcast that we know he didn't want the world to see, where she asked him, y'all didn't see me? Where she talks to him about basically them watching her be abused and be mistreated and them doing nothing. He didn't play that. That ain't what he wanted to show. He wanted to show bringing out Sonny and Moses to talk about mess. And that's what he showed, because that's who he is. He is a man of no substance. Carlos King is a man of zero substance. He cannot do a show about love and marriage and produce it in a way that it is going to be engaging for anyone who really understands the dynamics that happen between a man and a woman in a loving, caring relationship. He doesn't understand the importance of dealing with an abuser publicly to set an example as what men are not to do. He doesn't understand that. That's a whole missed opportunity on him. He wants to show the chaos. He wants to show the mess because he wants to put out there that it is impossible for a woman to leave her husband and be successful. He doesn't want it to be a situation where Martel and Melody split and she thrives. None of them wanted that to happen. They wanted to see her fail, but she didn't, and she won't. They wanted to talk like it's a bunch of raindrops, and I didn't want no damn raindrops. There was a couple drizzles in that audience, and that was it. That room was filled because of Mel. And you have a whole cast in Huntsville. Why you didn't do Love and Marriage Huntsville, Marceau and Tisha? Why you didn't do Love and Marriage Huntsville, Stormy and Courtney, Nell and Chris, Martel, Destiny, Kimmy and Maurice? Why you didn't do Love and Marriage Huntsville podcast with all of them? Why you only do Mel? Because you know ain't nobody showing up to see the rest of them. You know ain't nobody coming to see that shit. They're not the story. They're not the people that folks focus on this show about. They focus on this show with regards to Melody. That is the show. What I am wanting to see now is how we are able to unravel from this. I don't want to stay connected to Carlos King on. I really don't want to stay connected to them. I want to see now how Mel is able to unravel and transition from this. I'm excited about where we go next. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the opportunity that she's going to have that is going to be bestowed upon her, where she gets to take her millimeters to another situation where we are able to be excited and to love on and be happy and to not have to focus on negativity, because the negativity will essentially be gone. So I'm excited to see how that goes and how that is going to move. That's what I'm looking forward to, period. All right, so you guys, tell me what you think about the show. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Get out the way, who got a watch, who got the time, I'm raising the clock. Even if my feelings grind don't stop, got big dreams.